Welcome to another episode of Chappy Hour. I'm your host, Chloë Chapdelaine, and I am so excited for today because today we have on somebody who I've talked about a lot on this podcast so far, and he has yet to make an appearance, but today is the day. Welcome, Hamish.
Thanks for having me, babe.
For those of you who don't know, Hamish is my fiance. We are getting married in July and we have started wedding planning, and he is back in Canada. Previously, he couldn't be on the episode because he was in Greece playing professional volleyball, and before that he was in Romania, and so he's finally back in Canada for the summertime. Isn't that exciting?
So exciting, but there's like this weird new room with a podcast studio set up in my house.
That's true. The room that we're using right now actually used to be Hamish's personal closet, and I've transformed it into the podcast studio, so he's just gonna have to live with that for now. But we are gonna get started, and today on the podcast we are both drinking coffee. In my coffee I have a pump of sugar-free vanilla and some lactose-free milk. What's in your coffee?
Just some lactose-free milk.
Just plain
Nothing
old
special.
Lactose-free milk. And so we're going to get started. So grab your drink and cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to Chappy Hour. It's kind of like happy hour, but with me, Chloë Chapdelaine, where I catch up with a friend over drinks. It doesn't need to be 5 o'clock to join, so grab your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and let's get started. Cheers.
We are going to start off strong with the I'll Take a Double section of the podcast, which is where we chat about a life hack that we have. And I have a life hack that I have been testing out for the last couple months, and I can finally say I think it's safe to talk about it.
What is it?
So something about me that you are very aware of is I stress sweat really bad.
I'm aware.
Hamish is very aware, acutely aware, not by choice, but I stress sweat and I don't know why I sweat so much. I've looked into lots of different things for it. I've tried like this clinical strength deodorant that literally burns my armpits and makes me wake up in the middle of the night itching them. I've looked into Botox, which is so expensive for your armpits, and I don't know, it's just like not a very financially responsible decision for me. But one thing that I've started using recently is glycolic acid on my armpits. So you can get glycolic acid for your face where you can like put it on a pad and wipe it on like a toner, or I don't know, I think it's supposed to help with like exfoliation and stuff. But what I've done is I've put it into a little spray bottle, and when I get out of the shower after shaving my armpits, I'll just like spray my armpits with this glycolic acid. And on the days that I do that, I feel like my sweat doesn't smell as bad.
Honestly, I feel like it's working. I haven't noticed you stress sweating pretty much since you met me in Greece and since we've been hanging out since.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. I actually still have been stress sweating, but I feel like the sweat, it doesn't have the same smell. And that was like my biggest insecurity. Like honestly, one of my biggest insecurities in life is my stress sweating, because I'm scared that people can smell me, which is actually why I think oddly like social media works out so well for me, because like I can still have this relationship with people and they don't have to be super close to me, if that makes sense. But one thing that I was trying before is I was trying to kill the bacteria in my armpits, and so I was using Dial soap in the shower, which is something that I had heard on TikTok that's supposed to help, and I think it helped a little bit, but nothing has helped as much as glycolic acid. And the reason why I think this helps for me is because it's supposed to kill the bacteria that causes the smell on your armpits, and it increases cell turnover, and so it's like killing basically this bacteria that could be harbored in your skin and is making it so that your armpits don't smell as bad. And so that is my life hack, because I think it's been working. It only works on the days that I remember to apply it, and that's why I literally keep a spray bottle of it in the shower so that I can just like spritz it on after. And I will warn you, don't use this too often. I've been told that if you overuse it, or if you've got really sensitive skin, it can cause like hyperpigmentation potentially, but it can also have opposite effects for some people. So yeah, that is my life hack. But what is your life hack, or something that has made your life a little bit easier?
Honestly, I don't have anything groundbreaking, but for me, okay, this is like I feel like everyone's gonna laugh at me, and this is like something that like people are like, yeah, okay, I did that in first year university. It's like not a life hack, it's just being lazy. But rotisserie chickens. Rotisserie chickens are such good value for money. They're like $8 from Walmart. If you get them at the end of the day, they're like, I think even more discounted. But like just the sheer amount of calories and protein and just like good tasting meat. Sorry if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, but it's for me it's just so worth it. And you can make pasta with it, like a big meal prep. Honestly, a lot of the time I eat half of it as soon as I get it, just on the spot, and that's my meal for the day.
He'll start in the car. He'll start ripping off the wings.
Legs.
Oh, the legs. I get the wings.
Wings are tricky.
I get the wings. But yeah, rotisserie chickens, that is a really good life hack. I mean, I feel like it's just a really good value for money. And Hamish is a really big protein guy. That's also one thing that I feel like you can kind of fit into the I'll take a double life hack section is I didn't eat enough protein in my life until I met Hamish. Hamish drilled into me eating enough protein, and it has changed my life for the better.
This girl used to live off of cups of noodles. Literally she'd take a granola bar and 2 cups of noodles and she'd be good for 2 days.
Okay, you know those pho cups?
Or pho, not rice noodles.
Yeah, so that's what I would eat, those pho cups. I didn't have any protein. Or you
and
could
the
buy
Go Macro bars.
Go Macro bars, love those because Go Macro would send me bars, so I would eat those. That's kind of protein, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I think there was maybe 10 grams.
That was
probably not enough for a day and a half.
And that was probably the amount of protein I was eating in a day was what I would get in a Go Macro bar because I went through a phase where I was vegetarian, and so I wasn't eating any meat, and I didn't really, venture out yet and try Beyond Meats or tofu or anything at that point. And I would just I'd eat lots of veggies. I would steam veggies in the microwave and just eat them. But once I started incorporating daily protein and protein as the primary thing for each meal, especially in the mornings, life-changing. I don't know. I have so much more energy.
Yeah, I'd say one of the biggest things was I feel like you used to eat so much candy and stuff. Many
true.
little candy snacks because I don't know, you weren't getting obviously enough calories or actual protein or nutritional benefits from just the noodles and the I don't know what the veggies. The veggies obviously is tons of nutrition in them, but they're not going to fill you up for a long amount of time.
They don't give me energy.
Yeah, you don't
and I
get
think that's
no
why
carbohydrates
I was
or protein.
Literally addicted to sugar. I would eat so much sugar, sugar everything, candy everything, and I think it's because I didn't get enough energy through my protein sources, and so my body I was seeking it out in other quick ways, and that's how I knew how.
Which is funny because I feel like you eat so much more food
I
now
do. I eat
than you used
5 times as much as I used to, and I feel stronger. I feel more in shape. I've actually lost weight. That wasn't my goal to lose weight, but I have lost weight since eating 5 times as much. It's been really beneficial.
For sure. It's just completely dependent on I feel like you basically just replace sugary snacks and empty carbohydrates with protein full meals. Even though they're higher calories, they're just calories that are actually going to help your body function.
Definitely. So life hack, everybody, make sure you eat your protein throughout the day. And if you want a quick hit of that, try a rotisserie chicken because they're $7 from Walmart.
Oh yeah, that's where this conversation started. The garlic one is really good. Urban garlic.
Urban garlic is a good one.
That's the one.
But we're going to move into the daily special section of this podcast. And this is where we talk about the trends that we are seeing and what we think of them, if we like them or not. And yeah, what is out there that is trending. And there's one thing that I have seen only on social media. I haven't encountered it in person yet, but I've heard so much about it and I can't stop thinking about it. Veneer Techs.
The whole idea of it, you kind of gave me a brief idea of what it was, and honestly, it sounds so sketchy to me. Scary enough going to a dentist, and now you're just, oh.
Yeah, so I'll explain what a veneer tech is. We've talked about veneers on this podcast before, and it's basically the process of shaving down your teeth and replacing them with porcelain or some other type of teeth that's molded by a dentist to try to look better. But now there are these people who are claiming to be veneer techs, meaning they don't necessarily have their dental certifications, and they are doing veneers from home and treating it like putting on a set of acrylic nails. So they are literally changing people's teeth and their mouths. And some of these transformations that I'm seeing, they have people coming in who, in my opinion, they need to be getting full on root canals. They've got rotting teeth, and these veneer techs who, what I've seen from online, and I'm sure this isn't the case with all of them, but it is with some of them, they were lash techs before or nail techs that maybe weren't getting enough business and decided to transition a little bit. They are putting fake veneers over top of decaying teeth and serious dental problems and trying to solve the problem. And I just can't imagine what's going to happen in a few years when those teeth continue to, I don't know, disintegrate under the veneers. I feel like somebody's going to get sepsis or, I don't know, hopefully nobody dies from this, but I can't help but wonder, is something like that going to happen?
Yeah, honestly, I can't even imagine. So they're actually going and shaving these people's teeth down at in someone's basement.
Literally. So I don't know. Can you imagine just like, where are you getting the supplies, first of all? But these people are setting up things like stations in their basement or a room in their house, and they're literally shaving people's teeth down and putting on veneers that they're just making themselves. I'm just trying to think, how long does an orthodontist have to go to school to become an orthodontist?
Well,
Like,
they'd have to become a doctor. Like, they're doctors.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and so these
they have
people,
medical degrees.
I know. So like, I just want to know, like, where are they getting this equipment from? How are they getting these trainings? Because like, some of them are saying like, oh, I got my Veneer Techs certification, which I don't think that that's an actual thing. How are these businesses legal? And like, what type of waiver are they making these people sign if they're doing that at all? Like,
So what I'd be wondering is like what kind of painkillers are they injecting people with? Or because like I'm sure there needs to be like some kind of anesthetic or something to like, I don't know, numb the pain while you're drilling into this guy's tooth in the middle of your basement. Like I feel like it just has to be like, isn't that super sketchy? Like, isn't it supposed to be like carefully monitored how much you inject people with like local anesthesia?
yeah. Okay, wait, on that topic, I literally sent a video to mom yesterday, my mom, about how much anesthesiologists make. There was an anesthesiologist, I think it was either an assistant or a tech, and she's saying that she's making like easily like $100,000 a year from doing one shift, like 1 8-hour shift a week.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Like that, like it's an important job, and I'm pretty sure there's some pretty dire consequences if they mess up the dosages.
Well, yeah, but yeah, like I just was blown away at how much anesthesiologists can make. Like, I'm like, should I go back to school and get into?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of years though. Like it's not. I don't think it's a super
Oh,
simple.
it's more
degree.
than a couple of years.
Yeah,
but
it's
like,
not.
I mean, to work one shift a week and be getting that much money, I mean, that's kind of nice. But I guess it is like such an important job. Like, you cannot screw it up because you've got the lives of people in your hands, but also you're like also potentially, if you do something wrong, like you could get people addicted to substances. I'm pretty sure. Like,
I don't know about that, but I know that
Okay.
someone could be someone could be waking up in the middle of a surgery, like,
yeah, that's
or either not waking up at all, which is horrible to think. And I mean,
it's horrifying, but it's
I think it
happened.
happens. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, she's probably making a ton of money, but the other thing is, I'm pretty sure there's massive insurance that she might be paying as well. Like, you need really good private insurance. Well, I don't know if it needs to be private, I guess, but like, yeah,
That's a really
private
good
insurance. You
point.
need to have really good private insurance for jobs like that, where you have people's lives in your hands and you're just like so at risk of being sued or under massive liability. I know that's a massive thing for doctors that are delivering babies. They need crazy insurance, and I mean, anesthesiologists would probably have a similar thing.
Totally. Because anesthesiologists basically have to bring people to the point where they're at like the brink of death. Like, they're slowing down heart rates and breathing and consciousness and all of that, and then bring them back to life. Like, it's very a fine line that they're walking.
It's a lot of pressure,
Ah.
a lot of power in their hands.
I know.
Scary.
But anyways, if you have been thinking about getting veneers, do not go to a veneer tech. That is basically what I wanted to bring up. I know that they're trending, and I know that they're way less expensive than doctors or dentists out there who offer this service, but it is not the right option. I can guarantee it. Just do not do it.
Or just like roll the dice and maybe you get a fresh pair of chompers for a discounted rate. Who knows?
I don't know. I don't recommend it, Hamish. Hamish, I'm so jealous of Hamish because he has perfect teeth and he never had braces. He didn't have retainers or headgear or any of the crazy stuff. He's literally got naturally perfect, beautiful teeth.
I disagree. I don't think they look like that, but sure, I'll take the
I'm gonna
compliment.
go give him a stalk on social media. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. But on the topic of, you know how we were talking about like how there's all this crazy stuff that can happen in the medical field with anesthesiologists and knocking people out and stuff. On the topic of dangerous things, I want to talk about raw milk.
Raw milk.
Have you heard of raw milk?
No, I thought all milk was raw because it hasn't been cooked.
No, it actually has. It's gone through a pasteurization process. It's not technically cooked, but it's been pasteurized, meaning it's been brought to a certain temperature to kill bacteria and anything in it that could be harmful to people. And for good reason. Pasteurization is something that's like within the Alberta Health Code. Like, they do it to so many different foods to keep people safe. But raw milk is something that I've been seeing trending in the wellness community specifically. People are saying that it has more benefits in terms of nutrients because it hasn't been pasteurized. Raw milk is basically milk straight from the cow. Like, it hasn't gone through any sort of processing. But I also want to encourage people, please, please, please do not drink raw milk without knowing your risks and doing your research and understanding the danger that you could potentially be putting yourself in. Because raw milk, although it can sound great the way that these wellness influencers are spinning it, have a very high chance of having potentially deadly bacteria in it, of like salmonella and E. coli and all these other different things that are way higher. Have you heard of raw milk?
No, I haven't heard of raw milk. Well, obviously, like I've heard of the substance, but I didn't know it was referred to as raw milk. I thought it was just like fresh milk. But I swear to God, like if you speak to any farmer who has like dairy cows or anything, they all swear by having a cup of fresh milk straight out the udder. Like all of them have, like everyone I've spoken to, like my parents who like grew up on farms when they were younger, they just said there's nothing like it. Like it's so creamy, it's so good. So
Really?
I don't know, like maybe it's worth it.
I don't think so, because when you're just trying to stir the pot here. Let me read to you a little bit about raw milk. Raw milk can carry dangerous bacteria such as salmonella, E. coli, listeria, campylobacter, I think I'm saying that wrong, and other bacteria that cause foodborne illnesses, also food poisoning.
Okay, but on another note, like I don't know what the dairy laws in terms of pasteurization and stuff are over in Europe and in Greece, but every dairy product over there is just better. Every dairy
True.
product in, okay, sorry, Canadian dairy farmers. Yeah, every dairy product I had in Greece just creamier, just tasted better, and honestly just like didn't upset my stomach as much. Like I could eat all the cheese I wanted over there, feta cheese, like everything. Like
That's so true. So Hamish and I, if you're listening to this right now, there wasn't an episode last week because we were in Greece together. And that is where I also was introduced to lots of these dairy products that Hamish is talking about. And I considered myself as lactose intolerant. I always thought I was lactose intolerant before going to Greece.
this never stopped her from having
It's never stopped me
anything
from having dairy. I
dairy.
love dairy. Like I love ice cream. I love chocolate milk. I love cheese. Like it's not going to stop me. But I did not get sick in Greece once from dairy, and I had so much.
Well, you were having a block of feta with every Greek salad because
Literally.
they just loaded on there.
Okay, if you ever go to Greece, you need to have the feta. They put a whole block, like what would be like $10 worth of feta in Canada, on your little Greek salad. And it's amazing and it tastes great. And the Greek yogurt there is like creamier than I've ever tasted before. And all of it. I love it.
Yeah, the big things for sure is like the Greek yogurt and the feta and basically any of the cheeses. I didn't notice a massive difference with chocolate, but I didn't eat a lot of chocolate while I was
didn't eat
there.
a lot of chocolate there either. But I know that chocolate in Europe is quite different than chocolate in North America, because I think that they have lower sugar and higher fat content. So it's like creamier, versus Canada has higher sugar and lower cocoa and
I have
fat
no idea.
I don't know.
No idea.
Something like that. But anyways,
But yeah, back to the raw milk statistics that are going to kill everyone. I think you're going to get a lot of farmers that
no, I think
pitchforks and torches knocking down your door for saying you can't drink raw milk.
I'm saying you can, but just know the risks. Know that you could die. You could die from it. But on the topic of illnesses that you can get in returning from Greece, when Hamish and I just got back, we thought that we had contracted parasites because we were so sick. We both TMI, but we were experiencing extreme digestive issues, really, really bad. On that topic, I wanted to talk about parasite cleanses. Have you heard of parasite cleanses?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Okay, so what I've seen largely online from people talking about parasite cleanses is like typically lots of white women who had traveled who think that they've got worms or something along those lines. But I actually want to talk about parasites because I know as a fact that I contracted parasites while I was traveling within the last year, and we potentially got them again, and we just like our immune systems fought them off. But I just want to share this story just as a little bit of a warning to people if they're traveling, and things that maybe you could do if you think that you've got what I had. But I traveled to Sri Lanka. It was a wonderful trip. On the trip, I did get food poisoning, but I was fine. It was no problem, really. Like, once I went to the hospital and got an IV, I was back to life for the rest of the trip. I returned from the trip thinking everything is fine. And 3 days into being back, I started getting some pretty severe digestive issues. And they escalated and got worse and worse and worse. And I had to go to the doctor because things were not getting better. And TMI, but I had really, really severe diarrhea. So I went to the doctor and I was like, hey, something is wrong. I don't know what's going on. And he said, I think you have gastroenteritis. It should go away. Like, you're on day 3 already. It should go away. So I waited a few more days. It was not going away, and it started to escalate even worse. Like, I couldn't spend any time away from the toilet. I was up all night. I started throwing up. Like, it was getting very, very severe. So I went back to the doctor and I was like, something is wrong. I don't know. Like, I'm not getting better. And you said I should be at this point. And he's like, ooh, something is wrong. And you were just traveling in Sri Lanka. So let's do some tests on you. So I went and did tests in the hospital. Turns out I had contracted a parasite called Cryptosporidium. If you ever have had it, it's
what
absolutely
killed Superman.
If you've ever had it, it's what kills Superman. No.
Cryptosporidium, right?
Cryptosporidium.
That's
Yeah, along those lines.
Pretty sure it killed the guy.
Yeah, pretty much. I wouldn't be surprised because it almost killed me, I swear. But I needed to have I needed to get myself in check because I was so sick, and we immediately looked into if there was a medication I could take. But the problem was the medication that you would take for Cryptosporidium, the parasite that I had, it's not available in Canada. And so they contacted the Foreign Tropical Disease Board of Canada, or whatever it's called, and said, hey, we have a girl who's very, very sick. She needs to get this medication. Patient X called it in. I was supposed to be getting it. Long story short, the medication never reached me due to a clerical error where it did make it into Canada, and I was just never told that it was here.
This is where it all started, by the way, guys. From 200 years from now, when Canada's just apocalyptic.
Get out of here. But anyways, what I took during that time when I had Cryptosporidium that helped me with alleviating my symptoms, and I mean, it wasn't a perfect fix, but I took garlic oil capsules, and I absolutely think it started making a difference because as soon as I started making them, I noticed that symptoms started to subside shortly after. And then when I got retested, even without taking the medication, about a month later, I had beat parasites. Like, I didn't have it anymore. And so if you get Cryptosporidium and you don't have access to medication, take garlic oil capsules if you think that that would be something that would go along with your health. I mean, consult with your doctor first, of course. But parasites are a scary thing, and they absolutely are real. And I didn't really realize that until last year when I got them.
So, like, maybe this whole story and, like, your massive experiences that have been horrible with parasites, do you think that has anything to do with your vendetta against raw milk?
Yeah, I do. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about the raw milk thing.
Yeah, so don't drink raw milk, guys. You heard it here from the walking Petri dish.
Yeah, so yeah. Anyways, if you don't want to get sick, just avoid raw milk. And don't drink water in foreign countries, or even apparently let it in your mouth if you're having a shower or washing your face. But we're going to move on to something that's trending that's not quite as serious, but still is something that's trending. And I want to get your opinion on it because you're a dude, and maybe these are trends that I am going to adopt this season. Are you ready?
Okay, tell me about it.
Number 1, capri pants. Capri pants. Those are like the pants that don't go all the way to the ground. They're like between your knee and your ankle.
Isn't that a salad?
Capri pants? What do you mean? I don't understand.
Capri salad?
Is that a caprese salad? No.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
No. Capri pants. Oh my gosh. What do you think of them? Do you think they're cute or no?
I don't know what they are. Explain them to me.
They're pants that aren't full length pants. Like, they are cut off like between your knee and your ankle.
What are we talking? Like ankle freezes, or like literally just below the knee?
I mean, they could be either. But
no, there has to be a difference. That's like a whole. Well, for me, that's like 2 feet of difference.
For me, that's not very far. It's like a whole.
Okay, yeah. It's like feels like half a ruler.
Yeah, if that even. But okay, my
Short
preference.
gang.
Shut up. I'm not that short. I'm 5'5" on a good day. Okay, so my way that I wear capris, like, I like when they're just like a few inches above the ankle. Like, they're like mid calf.
Are we talking like loose pants or like
no, they're like pretty tight usually. They're like kind of tight.
Like yoga pants, kind of tight.
Maybe, but they're not as stretchy and they like flare.
Like
sometimes.
what kind of material are we talking? Are we talking like some khaki kind of stuff?
Yeah, sure, like khaki. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Do you like that or no?
These are like I feel like these were the kind of stuff that like the Explorer girls wore when they were like 30 years old when I was about 15.
Probably.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like on safaris, or what do you mean Explorer girls?
I don't know, just like
the cool girls.
Yeah,
we're bringing it back.
Yeah, like the world travelers.
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, I wore them when I was in like middle school. So
You've been around the world much by then?
I have. I've hit quite a few countries. Okay, next trend. Ready? Tankinis.
Again, I'm going to need an explanation. I
Okay.
mean, I'm guessing it's some kind of tank top bikini mix. But
Exactly that. It's like a bikini. Bottoms are usually the same, but the top is like a tank top. Usually that's like not all the way, but like it's like a tank top instead of just like a little triangle piece number thing. So it's like a tank top with bikini bottoms ish.
what, like we wear these to the beach? Like
Yeah,
you
to the
swim in
beach.
them?
Yeah,
Like it's just
yeah,
like a
swim.
swimsuit, right?
Swimsuit.
It's a swimsuit. Okay. So it's just like a less revealing
Yeah.
bikini top,
Yes.
kind of.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, I don't have an opinion on them. Like maybe I've seen them, but I wouldn't have even recognized that it's called a tankini. I would have
Okay.
been like, okay, that's just a big ass bikini top.
Okay. Well, apparently they're coming back into style. I personally probably only own one. I'm not going to buy new ones because I have bikinis that I love and I'm just going to continue to wear those. But that's another thing that's trending.
I mean, I could see it working. Like, I mean, I don't mind a good one piece on a woman. I think it looks good. The one pieces.
True. I have one piece that you always compliment me on when
Is
I
it
wear.
the blue and white one?
Yeah, the blue and white one. I love that one.
I mean, it was like one of the first Instagram photos I saw of you when we matched on Tinder, and yeah, you looked good in that.
Thank you. I love that swimsuit. I appreciate that. But I think it's time we move into the On the Rocks section of this podcast. And this is where we talk about the drama, the crazy things that are happening, the stories or the gossip, or I don't know, the stuff that's on the rocks. And are you ready to dive into some crazy stories?
Yeah, let's get wild.
Okay, we're going to start a series that we've never done before, and it's called Did He Cheat? And this is where I tell stories and I give specific situations, and you, as a male, have to determine whether the guy cheated or not, or whether you think he was cheating or not, because obviously you don't know if he actually cheated or not.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Okay, are you ready?
Do some detective work here.
Okay. Situation 1. There was a girl who was 21 at the time who's dating a guy that was a bit older than her. And this guy was really into outdoor sports, specifically snowmobiling. And every weekend...
Is snowmobiling a sport?
I kind of think so.
I guess, yeah. No, I see it.
I guess so.
I guess, like, not being Canadian, being Australian, snowmobiling doesn't come to mind when I think of sports.
I guess it's not really like a very competitive sport here. Like lots of people just more so do it for recreation, kind of like how we do skiing for recreation.
Just like ripping around on a motorbike?
Yeah, it's like that type of thing, but snowmobile.
Fair
Ripping
enough.
around on a snowmobile in the winter. And so this person that she was dating would often go out on snowmobiling trips that were out of town because they'd need to drive into the mountains to do it. And so the girl in our story would sometimes communicate with the person who she was dating, but there were times where they'd be like, hey, I'm going to be in the mountains. I will not be able to text you for the entire weekend. Sounds fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, there was one situation where she had her boyfriend that was going to go snowmobiling, and right before he left, he turned off his Snapchat location, which wasn't like a big deal to the girl because that wasn't something that she religiously stalked. But through their entire relationship of, let's say it was a few months at this point, this person had never turned off their Snapchat location. So anyways, the person goes on to the snowmobiling trip. Everything seems normal. They post a story showing that they're on the snowmobiling trip to their Instagram, but the girl notices that the photo or the video that the boy posted to their story was a video that was recycled from over 2 years ago on their Instagram. So basically, before the girl started dating the guy, he had posted this video like 2 years in advance from a previous snowmobiling trip, like in a carousel post. So the video existed before, but they were acting like that it was happening live.
It wasn't like a Snapchat memory like 2 years ago today?
No,
Okay.
because there was text on the screen that said, having such a good weekend with the boys right now, or something along those lines. So it was implying that they were out there with the guys snowmobiling. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the girl texts the guy, just says, hope everything's going well, not really getting any sort of responses, not getting any sort of, I don't know, boyfriend response, right?
Oh, yeah, he's out of service. He's snowmobiling in the mountains.
Out of service, snowmobiling the mountains, but he can post
With the
Instagram
boys.
stories with the boys. She realizes that this video is a recycled old video, so she decides to call him out on it. But this person adamantly denies, the boy adamantly denies that that is an old video. And then suddenly, the old video that was in the carousel post is no longer up on the Instagram. So there's nothing to reference.
Sounds like he covered his tracks pretty well.
Do you think that this person was cheating, or do you think he was just being really weird about this snowmobiling trip?
I think it's sus. It's super sus. But, I mean, definitively, yes, I think he's cheating.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was cheating. Okay, on to the next one. Okay? There's a girl who's dating a guy. The girl notices that the guy gets a weird notification on his phone. The notification is a Tinder notification. So she says, "Do you have Tinder on your phone?" And the guy goes,
Love that game.
"Well, yeah, I do. I do have Tinder on my phone." And the girl goes, "What do you mean? We've been dating for a couple years. Why do you have Tinder on your phone?" And he says, "Oh, well, I don't use it to actually go on dates with the girls. I just wanted to like see what the app was because like all my guy friends have it. And I just wanted to like see what it was about." So when she presses onward and is like, "Are you matching with girls or anything like that?" He's like, no. I got it so that I could like show my buddies.
He's just trying to play Tinder with the boys.
Do you think that that's what he was doing? Do you think he was playing Tinder or was he cheating?
It's a good game. It's a good game to have on your phone.
Do you have that game on your phone?
Of course, I don't have that game on my phone. I already won that game.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I won that game years ago.
You're Tinderella.
Shout out to Chloe. Yeah, no, that's pretty sketchy. And I mean, like, honestly, he may not have been cheating, but I feel like it's pretty toxic to even have it on your phone to begin with. There's just so many things wrong with that. And even if he wasn't cheating, it kind of very obvious display that he's kind of shopping around, maybe looking for an upgrade, maybe looking to make some changes to his roster.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, no, it's a massive red flag. And even if he wasn't cheating, it's pretty clear that he was willing to if the opportunity came along.
Definitely. I agree with you on that one. Okay, next one. Are you ready? There's a girl who is dating a guy, and they had been together for a while, but they started doing long distance over the summer. The guy was living in a city, and the girl was living out of town. There was an instance where the girl needed to go into town because she had to catch a flight, and since she wasn't living there at the time, she didn't have a place to stay, so she had planned to stay at her boyfriend's place. However, the boyfriend happened to be out of town that weekend that she needed to fly out. So he said, "No problem, you can still stay at my place. Whatever, all is good," right? So she goes to her boyfriend's place to stay at his house before her flight, before she flies out. And she notices, without snooping around, that there is a used condom sitting on the top of his garbage bin that's right beside his bed.
No, not a good sign.
Not a good sign. Now, this is especially not a good sign because they had been long distance and they hadn't seen each other in over a month. And so
maybe it's just bad at cleaning up.
I mean, it wasn't from the girl. Okay? When she texts her boyfriend and says, "Hey, I promise I wasn't snooping, but it's literally right on top of your garbage. Why is there a used condom?" He says, "Oh, don't worry, babe. I just used it to jack off to be cleaner. Don't worry." Was he cheating?
Honestly, I'm going to for sure lean towards yes, but I don't know. To cut the guy some slack, I personally did do this once when I was about 15. I had an abundance of condoms purely because they did like this like safe sex seminar and they were just giving out free condoms, and I just took like 30 of them. Like, I was not getting any action when I was 15. This was like completely
wishful thinking.
Oh yeah, I was like, yeah, you know what's just like saving for the future. Like, I mean, I'm growing into my prime soon. Like, let's go. But and I did do it once. I did jerk off into a condom once. I admittedly did do that. But again, I was like 15. I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I was a late bloomer. I was like just hitting puberty. So like, this was like experimental for me. Like, the fact that this guy was like, how old was he?
21.
21? Like, yeah, I feel like that should have been and gone. He should have figured out that that's just a massive waste of money years before that. So I think it's BS. Like, I think for sure he's cheating.
Yeah. See, like, the weird thing to me is, like, you'd think if he was cheating that there'd be at least an effort to cover his tracks. Like, put a piece of tissue over top of it or something. Like, hide it a little bit. Don't leave it so obviously there.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a real genius move. Speaking of covering your tracks, you can edit that story to make me not sound like a complete weirdo, right?
I'll do my best. Just kidding. We're going to leave it just as it is.
Band-Aid on a decapitated person.
Yeah. So, okay, last Last story, okay? There's a girl who's dating a guy. The guy has been texting a girl who's not his girlfriend. And the girlfriend looks at the texts and sees that the guy has been texting this other girl saying, hey, don't worry, I had been planning to break up with my girlfriend at some point, but like, I don't know for sure if we're going to break up, but it's okay. I can talk to you because like, we're not that serious anyways.
Oh, I know the answer to this one. It was his mum.
Unfortunately, that was not the case.
Oh, okay,
it was a girl who he had actually previously dated.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, but he had been with his existing girlfriend for 2.5 years. Do you think that he was planning on cheating on his existing girlfriend?
Well, I mean, this is like, I need more context than that. Like, what are the messages? Like, what is he talking to her about? I mean, it's like, it's a weird thing to say to begin with. Like, obviously just like hinting at his relationship being on the rocks and they're planning on ending things. That's pretty rough on its own, but like, I feel like there needs to be a little more. I feel like maybe he's just thinking of breaking up and he's just, I don't know.
But that's it. That there wasn't anything that was like overly flirty. It was just like, good morning, how was your day? And then it was like, oh, like, should I really be talking to you? Yeah, it's totally fine. Like, I'm planning on breaking up with my girlfriend anyways type vibe.
Oh, yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, that's for sure. That's like, I don't know if he's cheating, but I mean, I feel like it's like emotional cheating. Like, it's not, he hasn't physically done anything, but like, okay, you're planning on just break up. Like, don't be like, I'm planning on breaking up with her. Like, what is that? It's just like trying to secure his next job before he's even finished his last one.
Yeah, I guess so. But anyways, that concludes the stories I had for this segment of the Did He Cheat section. And unfortunately, I have to share that all of these stories that I just told you about are personal stories where I was the girlfriend. And those were my exes.
Yeah, all 4 of them were me. My bad, guys.
Yeah, Hamish used to be a different guy before we got engaged.
Oh, but we're good now.
We're good now. Just kidding. No. Thank goodness that you've never done anything like any of those. But
it's a pretty low bar. Pretty
low bar. But yeah, you exceed all my bars. So that's good.
I mean, these guys made it pretty easy. So shout out to them.
Okay, but one more on the rocks thing I want to bring up before we move along. I'm going to expose myself here a little bit.
Again?
Yeah.
I feel like this has been, I think you've exposed the amount of parasites you're hosting right now or have been hosting. You've exposed your stress sweating and you've exposed your pretty rocky past relationships. I mean, what else have you got for us?
I mean, this is just a vulnerable podcast, so I might as well just roll with it, right? Next thing, I have a Chappy Hour podcast Instagram, right? This is where I share like some clips or I'll announce when I have another episode coming out. Well, I made a big mistake, okay? I made a big mistake. And the Instagram that I started for Chappy Hour was previously a different account, and I just changed the handle to fit this one. And the previous account was my stalking account, and any girl understands a stalking account. It's not a bad thing.
I don't have one of those.
It's just like keep tabs on people, or like if you're curious, like, and you need to follow somebody if they're private, you follow from your stalking account just so people don't know who you are. It's not like, it's nothing malicious. It's nothing bad. I had this stalking account previously that is now my Chappy Hour account for years. Okay, like probably like 5+ years. It's a well-used stalking account, but I had never revealed it, and I was like, you know what? I'm a retired stalker. It's time to give up the account. Okay.
Yeah, so this is already sounds like a pretty terrible idea.
Yeah, so anyways, I changed the handle. Everything is fine. I forgot that when you request to follow somebody, if they don't accept your follow request, that it just will always stay in their follow requests until they accept or reject it. So I had requested to follow quite a few people with this account, and over time I forgot who I had requested to follow because I just like no longer had interest in these people's lives. Makes sense. Okay, well, I just like went and looked at the Chappy Hour account the other day, and I'm following one of my ex's girlfriends, and I'm like following 2 people in the account. So that means that since I switched it over, she's like, oh, Chloe's podcast account was this stalker account who tried to follow me before. I'm gonna accept it. And she accepted it, and I just have to say, girl, I am so sorry. I think nothing but highly of you, and I hope you're doing so well. I did not mean to follow you with my stalking account. I'm sure we'd be great friends. And I think you're cool. And thanks for accepting my follow request. But I'm sorry if it came across as creepy or stalkerish.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it wouldn't have been that bad if it wasn't on the burner. But then again, I guess if like you're not on good terms with the boyfriend,
that's a thing.
Like the ex-boyfriend, if you're not on good terms with him, then yeah, it would be a bit weird to follow his new like sweetheart. But I mean, like on the burner account too.
I should have just done it from the regular account. Like I should have just like put my name, went to follow her.
Should have been brave.
I should have been brave and I didn't. And now it's back to bite me.
Should have been brave and stupid. Now you're just a coward and stupid.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm so sorry. But for anybody else who has a stalking account and you're thinking of transitioning it into a regular account, just go through and make sure you're not like requesting to follow anybody first because they're all going to see who you are.
I think most people would probably just make a new account. I mean, it takes all of 5 minutes.
Here's the thing. I did make a Chappy Hour podcast account and it got taken down by Instagram because it thought I was a bot.
What did you do within the like 5 seconds of creating it that made it think you were a bot?
I don't know. Nothing. I don't know.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, I'll just use this existing account. I don't really use it anymore.
To be clear, this is the girlfriend of one of the ex-boyfriends from the stories.
Yeah. So I know. I hope that things have changed since I was with him. I'm hoping that she is happy, and I'm wishing for their success and happiness and luck. We are going to move along out of the On the Rocks section and into the Shaken Not Stirred section of the podcast. And this is where we chat about something that has shaken us up this week. And I feel like Hamish and I come up with something every day that we're shook about. But I have something specifically that I think has to do with everybody for this season, especially if you like to grill, if you like to use barbecue. And this is mine. If you have a barbecue and you're about to fire it up for the first time after the winter, clean it out. And when I say clean it out, I don't just mean take your wire brush and give it a good scrape or anything like that. I mean literally take the grill off and empty out anything that's in that little reservoir underneath it, because I just watched a video of a guy who did this for the first time in the season and he found a whole mice nest at the bottom of his barbecue.
Oh, not in his flavor pocket.
No, but okay, here's the thing. Barbecues are a really good spot for mice because A, there's usually leftover food that they can start by eating. B, it's like a nice little warm place for them to build a nest over the winter. It's sheltered from wind and snow and all of that. And it's just like this good spot. It's got like existing like, I don't know, things that they can create a little nest out of and chill in your barbecue. And then when you fire it up, either you're going to be inhaling mouse poo fumes or else toasting up a little mouse family.
Okay, all I'm thinking about when you're telling me this is like that scene from Game of Thrones where they're using the metal bucket against the guy's stomach and then they heat one side of it and then the rat like
that's such a horrible
has to escape.
scene.
And the only way to escape is through the poor victim's body. That's all I'm thinking about while you're telling this barbecue story.
Yeah, so that's not what's going to happen if you fire up your barbecue with mice. They're not going to like bore their way through it.
You can't make any promises.
I mean, I guess I can't, right? But just clean out your barbecue before using it for the first time this season.
Or maybe just check to see if there's mice in there. That's probably a quicker way.
Yeah, or do that.
And then keep all your extra flavor. That's what barbecues are renowned for, right? Like just the extra flavor from
residual flavor,
years and years of
mice. No,
burnt muck on the grill.
I guess, but I feel like people need to clean their barbecue. That's just like a hazard.
Yeah, no, maybe just check it and clean it.
Okay, but what is your shaken, not stirred topic of the week?
Okay, so what shook me was our dog. Miles shook me yesterday actually. So we left the house and we may or may not have left a Tupperware container that had like a family block size of butter. Like not like a normal size stick of butter, like a family block of butter.
A huge one.
Inside the Tupperware container on the cupboard. We should have known better because Miles has gotten into this really bad habit of finding and stealing literally anything we leave out that's edible or he thinks is edible. And so we come home and the whole block of butter is gone. It's on our living room carpet, empty. The Tupperware container's empty. We look at him. He's super guilty. He like is laying down in the corner just looking at us with dread in his eyes. And so we're super worried about him. We're like, that's so much butter. We quickly do all the Google searching. What can happen to a dog if they eat a freaking kilogram of butter? And there's a few things, like they can be violently sick. They can
pancreatitis.
Pancreatitis. They can develop that from like the high amounts of fat and salt, I think. We're hoping he throws up just so he doesn't digest all of it, but it's could have been a sign of something more malicious if he did start throwing up. And then there's like another egg carton on the ground. There's a couple pillows on the ground. So we start just like cleaning up. We're like, oh, okay, got into the egg carton too. It was empty anyway. So like maybe just like smelt some like leftover egg in there and tried to get something out of it. I pick up the egg carton and there's a pile of puke underneath it. And I'm like, that's weird. It's almost like he tried to hide his puke. Like he puked on the carpet and he felt so bad about it that he's like, shit, I need to hide the evidence. Like, I wasn't supposed to take that butter, and I sure as hell wasn't supposed to throw up on the white carpet. Maybe if I hide it, they won't know. And then I'm like, okay, kind of crazy. Maybe a coincidence that the egg carton is like directly on the puke. Grab the egg carton, throw it in the bin. And then I noticed that there's 2 more pillows on the carpet and they're in a super weird spot. And the like couch that the pillows came off of has been like completely messed up and all the pillows thrown off it. And that's not normal for him. Like he's usually really careful when he jumps up on stuff. I look under one of the pillows, kind of suspicious that maybe, just maybe, he was trying to hide more puke. Nothing there. I'm like, oh, okay, it's all in my head. He's not a smart enough dog to hide his puke because he's been notoriously slow at learning tricks and just a bit of a slow boy in general. Anyway, I pick up that other pillow, puke underneath. So there was a total of 3 objects that he'd put on the carpet. One of them, I think, just fell off when he was trying to rustle the other pillow. And 2 of them, he's hid his puddles of puke with.
It's so crazy. And
this blew me away because like, I was like, okay, he had, like, this is a thought process. This isn't like something that just happens. Like, you know, like dogs do something sometimes and you're just like, was that really smart? Or did he just like, he just did it and it was like a coincidence that it turned out well. But no, this was like a thought process. He puked on the carpet, knew he was in trouble, and just like a 5-year-old kid, he realized he'd messed up and he literally tried to hide the evidence. And he went out of his way to pull pillows off of the couch and place them perfectly. I mean perfectly. We did not see puke anywhere until we lifted up these objects. Like,
they
we lifted
were
up the
meticulously placed.
Like perfectly placed. And like, it was impressive. I was impressed. I was shook. I was shook that he had the intelligence. Like, we had been underestimating him.
Oh, poor guy. For anybody worried about him, he's feeling a lot better now. So thank goodness he's doing well today. We were so worried because I cannot describe how much butter he ate. Like, he ate pounds of butter, but he's okay. He's totally fine. And we're not ever going to leave butter on the counter again.
He's good. He's back to normal now.
Yeah. But we're going to move into the last section of this podcast. It's been a good one so far, but we always end with bottoms up, which is something that we are obsessed with right now. And I have something that I'm obsessed with, and I haven't even started doing it yet, but I'm hoping to be obsessed with it, I guess I could say. Running. I have decided I'm going to try to be a runner. I've done running in the past. I actually quite enjoy it. Sometimes I enjoy it. But I want to try to be a runner this summer, or at least get into running, even if it's once a week. I want to try. And so I've been watching lots of videos on running. I've been trying to like decide what shoes I should buy because I've told myself if I buy a new pair of shoes, like maybe that'll be the motivation for me to start. And yeah, that is my thing. What is your obsession of the week?
My obsession of the week, I think, is just trying to keep you down to earth with your obsessions. I think that's my obsession right now. I mean, like, I feel like it's a full-time job. Like, I mean, a few weeks ago she wanted to be a podcaster, and then all of a sudden there's a podcasting group.
And how's that going,
and
right?
Then, I mean, it seems like it's going okay, but I mean, your most recent guest is pretty questionable.
I mean, yeah, but for anybody listening, if you're wondering how it's going, you could actually help me by leaving a 5-star review, especially if you're happy that Hamish was on the podcast today. Go give him a 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Music, or Amazon Prime, or wherever the heck you listen to your podcast from.
No, but seriously, yeah, we'll see how the running goes. I mean, maybe I'll have to join you on a couple of runs, but running's not really my thing.
I mean, it's not really my thing yet either. But I think I'm gonna try.
You think it's going to be?
You
haven't been for a single run yet, though.
Not yet this year.
No, not yet.
But maybe I'll run a marathon later.
All right, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Get back to me after you've ran once.
I'm probably going to hate it after my first run, but that's how it always goes, right?
But if you buy those new shoes, then you'll be golden.
After this podcast, we're going to go and I'm
that's all
going
it
to buy
takes.
myself.
That's all it takes to be a runner. You just need a good pair of shoes.
After this podcast, I'm going to go and I'm going to buy myself a good pair of shoes, and that's going to be my motivation to start running. But we're running out of time on our podcast today, so we're going to wrap it up. But before we do, I just want to remind all of you guys that I am so grateful you're listening. So thank you for sitting here today and hanging out with me and Hamish. And I also want to thank every single person who's given me a 5-star review. I've also got some DMs lately from people who have listened and had feedback. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everybody who's taken the time to listen or send me a message that you listened. I just am so grateful for you guys supporting me in this journey as a podcaster. I mean, it's one of my latest obsessions, as Hamish has said, but I've been loving it and I'm not going to slow down anytime soon. And so if you enjoyed what you listened to today, be sure to go and give it a 5-star review on whatever listening platform you are listening from. And I just want to say, have a great week. But before I sign off, cheers!
Cheers.